Okay, so for the rest of this, we're doing multiplying fractions and whole numbers. So this is really easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a blank slide for us to write on, and I'm going to do some examples with you. So remember, a fraction is just numerator over denominator. So the number on the top is the numerator, and the number on the bottom is the denominator. So for example, if I have the fraction 1/2, the 1 is the numerator and the 2 is the denominator, because the 2 is how many pieces are in the whole. So if I have a whole number, so if I have one whole pie, the denominator tells you how many pieces there are. The numerator tells me how many pieces I have shaded in. So like how many pieces I have. So for 1/2, again, the numerator is the part that you have and the denominator is how many parts there are to a whole. So when you are multiplying a fraction by a whole number, so for example, if I have 3/4 times 12, right? That whole number is not a fraction. So it's going to be really hard for us to be able to multiply straight across when we don't know what our denominator is. So to turn any fraction into a whole number, to turn any whole number into a fraction, you simply put it over the denominator of 1. And then you multiply straight across. So I like to save time, so I start with the easiest part of the problem first. And when I look, I see 4 times 1, that's 4. And then I see 3 times 12, and Miss Wernicke has a hard time remembering her multiplication, so she has to write it out. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So 36/4. However, I know that 36/4 is not simplified. So I need to find the greatest common factor, GCF, of 36 and 4 to be able to figure out what to divide by. So I'm going to start with 4. I know the factors are 1, 2, and 4. So 36, I know 1, 36, 2, and 18, 3, and Miss Wernicke is struggling. 3 times, is it 12? Oh my goodness, you guys, it's right here. 3 times 12, and then I know 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 18, and 36. So I know my GCF is 4. So I'm going to erase my work so I have a little bit of space. And I'm going to divide by 4/4. So I'm going to put it over 1. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So anytime you have a whole number over 1, or your denominator is 1, your whole number is just the numerator. So 9/1 equals 9, so my answer would be 9. Let's do another example, and let's go a little bit slower. Here, we can do some fun colors with this one. So if I have the fraction 7/8 times, let's say 6. My first step number 1, put whole number over 1. So I'm going to, put that over 1. And then multiply straight across. 6 times 7, if you don't know your multiplication facts, this is a great time for you to start brushing up on those. 6 times 7 is 42. And then 8 times 1 is 8. So then my last step is to simplify using GCF, which is kind of the point of what we are learning today, because if you remember, that's our I can statement. I can use greatest common factor and least common multiple to solve problems. So when I see 42 over 8, I know that I need to find a common factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in down here, and I'm going to factor 42 and 8. I know it would be 1 and 42, 2 and 21. Now, I don't know if 3 fits in, so I'm going to do some long division. And remember, they have to fit in equal amount of time. So 3 fits into 4 one time. Yep, so 3 times 14 is 42. And I don't know, oops, does 4 fit in? I feel like it does, but I don't know. 4 fits into 4 one time. Minus. No, because then I'd have to bring down. So nope, 4 does not fit. I know that 5 doesn't, and I know that 6 times 7 does. So those are my factors of 42, and 8 is a bit easier for me. It's 1 times 8, 2 times 4. So my GCF is 2. Right? Yeah, 2. So now what I'm going to do is divide by 2 equals 21 over 4. So now I need to change my improper fraction, which is the answer I got, into a mixed number. And the way to do that is to see how many times the denominator can fit into the numerator equally. So 4 fits into 21 5 equal times, because 4 times 5 equals 20. And then you have 1 left over to get to 21, and your denominator stays the same. So my answer would be 5 and 1/4. So that is how you multiply a fraction by a whole number.